All right. We're live with YouTube. I'm going to do Instagram. Substack is hopefully going live on its own. Ha, ha, ha. Let's see. I feel like Substack is going to go weird on me again. Oh, no. Substack is working this time on its own. Good. Go weird on me again. Okay, this time Substack is working on its own, which means everything should be working on its own this time. How bizarre that was. Yeah, weird. And now, yeah, how bizarre. So it's hard to, it's just very hard to set this stuff up. Man, you know, man, oh man, oh man. All right, it's working at least. Phew, that's good. That's good. All right, let's get TikTok started. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know what it was doing. God only knows what that was about. That was very strange. That was just very strange. Oh, hey, Rails. All right, hold on. Trying to get TikTok set up. Why does TikTok have Halloween gifts? I don't understand why it does that, but TikTok is very weird with their gifts, so we don't ask. Actually, that one's kind of funky. All right. TikTok go live. Jeez Louise. All right. Bam, bam, bam. That wasn't fun. All right. See, now you got to witness firsthand the technical stuff I have to deal with. It's not fun. So, hello, TikTok. But you see what I mean? Like how it just like, although actually the Discordians got to watch. The rest of you didn't get to watch it. It just like takes a while to set everything. Now you see how long it takes to set everything up. Oh, thanks, Manda. You know, it just, for each show I do every night, there are multiple steps. And it's just, like I said, it's a little annoying how many steps there are. So I decided to take whoever it was suggestion, Jens or whoever it was, or JTA, who said, I could try to use my notes on my iPad so that I'm not printing them out every night. Let's see. I kind of like having paper, to be honest, but I wouldn't mind saving money on paper and ink. But I'm still kind of used to, I like having paper. So we're going to see if this works. I don't know if this is going to work. It's a little weird, but oops. Will that work? That will work. Well, let's see. This might work. I don't know. It's a little weird, but it might work. So of course the font is a little smaller too, which is weird. We shall see. Anyway, welcome everybody. We started a little late. Yeah, saving trees, but maybe not saving the show. We shall see. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Sadie. Okay, finally we are back. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. Had kind of a busy day. Took Sasha to the vet. She's doing okay, but I thought her eye was doing worse, and it is. So we had to go to the vet this morning and switch around the eye drops we're using. So we'll see. You know, worries me a little because, like I said, her eye's getting worse, and that's not good. But we shall see. So going to see the vet in another week or two. So at least I know what to look for, but still a little scary stuff. Anyway, let's get rolling, guys. So I do this for a living. I'm John Aravosis. You know me, here in Washington, D.C. So please keep the gifts coming. Thank you for the globe. I'm going to yawn at you. Thank you. Because a lot of you, thank you, succeed. Thank you. And there was somebody else there too. Nope. Now I'm missing whoever the other person was. Hawaiian. Oh, succeed. You're Hawaiian. Right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the various gifts. But keep the gifts coming. Yes, this is my second snappy shirt from Singapore. This one has like birds on it. If you look closely, they're very cool tropical birds, but you have to look very closely to see the tropical birds. But I got this one in Singapore too. Singapore has some nice shirts, nice clothing. And it wasn't very expensive either. We were very excited. So anyway, all right. Oh, thank you, Cricket. Sorry, guys. By the way, like I said, the last year and a half, the dog wakes me up early. So I have an excuse for being tired all the time. It's always been the dog doing this to me. That's been most of the problem, but we shall see. Anyway, all right. Thank you for the snow globe. Got Jen. Thank you, Jen. So let's get rolling. As usual, we'll start with the reflecting pool. We'll get into the Iran stuff, all the crazy stuff. Singapore's airport, best ever. Oh yeah, crazy airport, crazy cool airport. Anyway, let's get rolling. So the reflecting pool. So New York Times had a very interesting story last night breaking about the reflecting pool. Trump screwed it up, right? I'm going to start yawning at you. I'm sorry. Trump screwed up the reflecting pool. The algae, the sealant is coming off. He's trying to claim vandals did it, but he can't. His story keeps changing. First, the vandals cut a long cut in the pool. Now it's the vandals cut little cuts in the pool. New York Times actually got the files from the Interior Department last night, National Park Service, and basically Trump lied. What a surprise. Let me read you the first couple of paragraphs from the New York Times. President Trump says the peeling blue coating and algae blooms that mar his $16.4 million renovation of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool are the fault of vandals working with knives in the dark of night. But government documents obtained by the New York Times show that while National Park Service workers found 2 cuts in sections of foam between the pool expansion joints, whatever those are, those were not directly related to the American flag blue coating that is now peeling or to the algae that has turned the pool a bright shade of green. What the New York Times got was a National Park Service internal document that detailed the damage. Okay. What did they find? Sorry, we're seeing what Miss Wynekins is doing here now. Oh, she's still in her bed. All right. What it detailed was they did find some cuts elsewhere in the area. They didn't find cuts in the base of the pool. They didn't find cuts in the paint. We're going to call it paint. I get tired of people. The sealant, right? There weren't cut. Trump lied. Trump claimed there were cuts in the paint, cuts in the sealant, and that's what caused the sealant to come up. The New York Times got the internal document that said there were some cuts in other parts of the pool having nothing to do with the sealant. So the sealant came up on its own. The cuts had nothing to do with it, right? The algae, same thing. The algae happened on its own. There's more. Even as the documents show workers were attempting to address deteriorating conditions, Trump administration officials were insisting publicly that the pool was pristine. The pool has been drained, resealed, and then refilled by June 5th. 4 days later, Park Service workers discovered holes, cracks, and peeling caulking in parts of the pool, along with cuts in sections of the foam. By June 16th, workers had noticed that chunks of blue sealant that covered the pool's bottom were peeling and floating to the surface, the document shows. That sealant was separate from the foam in the pool's expansion joints, which allows its concrete slabs to expand and contract. The workers had also discovered that some devices installed to kill algae were not working as intended, according to the documents. And enormous algae blooms had turned portions of the pool bright green instead of dark blue. But on June 15th, Mr. Trump was still declaring the renovation a success, telling reporters that I'm very good at building things and constructing things. The most important thing to take away from this story is that Trump's own administration, the National Park Service's own internal reports, say that there are no cuts in the base of the pool. There are no cuts with knives in the sealant, in the paint job on the bottom of the pool. Nobody cut it with knives. None. It was screwed up on its own. It on its own started to come off the bottom and fall apart, which means they built a bad pool sealant. That's what this story, that's not this story. That is what the National Park Service's own documents say about the pool. And correct. Carol said, whoever wrote that report will be fired. That is absolutely correct because Trump is going to deny it and he's going to lie. Thank you, son. But it's a really important story. Now, some conservative influencer walked around and got, this was a wild story. She walked around and she got pictures of damage around the reflecting pool. And I was like, okay. So half her pictures don't show anything. They're just like pictures of the pool. And you're like, what are you trying to show us? Some of the pictures, and I kid you not, some of the pictures, like on the side of the pool, on the sidewalk, there's some caulking or something. And a portion of the caulk this big is kind of gouged out, but it's caulk like on the sidewalk. And you're going, Okay. What does that have to do with the sealant in the pool? Who knows? How did that caulk get gouged out? Who knows? When did that caulk get gouged out? Right? Did they replace all the caulk on the sidewalk? I did not hear that. Could that sidewalk caulk have been installed 10, 20, 30 years ago? Yes. Could it have been damaged by anything? Yes. Over the years? We don't know. But they're trying to prove, because honestly, they're so desperate to save Donald Trump because Donald Trump screwed up this entire thing. And they're so desperate to save Trump that they are, hang on a second here. My friend Josh is messaging me. They're so desperate to save Donald Trump that they're basically coming up with any lie they can. But as I said, finding caulking that was damaged 20 years ago does not really, hang on a second here. There we go. You know what I mean? It doesn't quite make sense, any of this. Yep, there we go. There we go. I had to block a troll. He's gone now. Oops, hang on, pull you guys back. There you are. You get it now, right? Right? Oh, that's not English. Oh, we've got trolls on Facebook who don't speak English. Could you not know shit about what you're saying? Could you not know shit about what you're saying? That means you do know what you're saying. See, in English, that actually means the opposite. How embarrassing for you. Could you not know shit about what you're saying? No, that means you do know shit about what you're saying. Silly, silly, silly. See, don't try to come and harass people when you don't speak as a language. Not very good. So bottom line is, they have no proof the pool was damaged by anybody. The National Park Service itself says nothing in its internal files about the pool being about the. I don't think we're able to. Amanda. Yeah, that's the problem. I don't know why Facebook does that. It's kind of annoying that they do that. But yeah, so the National Park Service itself admits in its files that there was no sabotage found to the paint, the sealant. The sealant was already coming up on its own. Donald Trump screwed it up just like we thought they did. The other thing too, by the way, is what they're claiming. So they're claiming that in order to make the pond come apart with the sealant, liberals went and damaged some of the caulk on the sidewalk of the pool. Why would and you had to see these women's pictures. Literally, there's like caulk and there's a circle like this of the caulk that's damaged. And you're going, why would damaging a circle of caulk on a sidewalk have any impact on the bottom of a pool? That doesn't make any sense. Right? That doesn't help. I mean, if your goal is to sabotage the new pool, you don't take out a 1-inch piece of caulk on the sidewalk, right? I mean, again, they're lying. I mean, and the thing is, they're not just lying. They're dealing with a crowd that doesn't fact check. They just need to feed like stupid enough stuff, right, to their people. Anything that's dumb enough, oh, look what they did. And it's, oh, look what they did, right? They don't really need proof of anything real, right? I mean, that's the problem. Okay, that's not English either. You know, we've got foreign trolls pretending to be Americans on Facebook. This is kind of funny today. I love that. Jeff West. Oh, first of all, that's a porn name. Second of all, he wandering. I have to tell you this. He wandering if you're, Y-O-U-R, dumb enough to truly believe the dribble you're, Y-O-U-R, spilling. Oh, honey, that's not actually English. I love this. He wandering. Are you wandering? I've been wandering a lot lately. He wandering if you're dumb enough to truly believe the dribble. The dribble? That's not quite English either. The dribble? You're, Y-O-U-R, spilling. Spilling dribble? Not English. Not English. Nice try, though. Jeff West, porn star extraordinaire. Oh, God, I love these people. I just love when they try. Well, the thing is, like I said, when they're not, when they, Russia is losing. Russia is loose. I almost wore my Russia is losing shirt this weekend. Almost wore my Russia is losing shirt. Russia is losing. Moose and squirrel. Anyway, he wandering. I'm telling you, I know we must have made it if we're getting the trolls today. He wandering. And again, we're not going to correct his English because I don't want to teach the trolls how to speak English. But he wandering. Oh, is he wandering? He wandering. Okay. No, a lot of Americans don't have much education either, but that just wasn't quite English. Just wasn't quite English. Anyway, they're so funny. All right, so we've got Trump and the reflecting pool lying again, and unfortunately, the National Park Service, his own employees, came out and said basically that Trump lied. Sad. Not the greatest builder. He screwed up the reflecting pool. He screwed up the algae. He's now sadly responsible for, I guess, killing ducks because the ducks are dying, which is very sad. So that's a bad thing. What else we got here? All right. Oops. What else? I'm using, like I said, my iPad for the notes, which was somebody's suggestion. I still find it very confusing to look at the iPad. I'm sure it's just for you, Mandy. It would be just for you. It's not going to let me create an actual moderator, which is really annoying. Very annoying. Now, if the dog is up, Carol had gotten the dog a gift, which, no, she's still in bed. I'm going to leave her. When the dog gets up and gets whiny, I've got a little gift of some peanut butter stuff that's really low calorie that you smear on a piece of rubber that makes it hard for the dog to lick. And then you put it on a wall or something and see. Now, with her little thingy, I'm not sure if it's going to work, but let's see. If she gets whiny during the show, a lick mat, exactly. I'm going to see if it works. The problem is she's got her cone on, and I don't know whether it's teasing her or whether it teases her or whether it will get the peanut butter all over the cone, which would kind of piss me off. Anyway, more here via NBC. Listen to this. Listen to this. You may have heard about this one. Via NBC. A man seen on video handcuffed by officers and escorted from the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. This is the guy who got, I removed him, Andy, that's why. This is the guy who got pissed off because because they had all the National Guard and all they had police from his own town were there. Trump has deputized police from small towns in Texas to come to Washington to protect the Lincoln Memorial, the pool, the reflecting pool. And he got pissed and yelled at him and said, "What are you doing here? This is fascist." They arrested him for that. Listen to the charges are not just fascist, but bizarre, and he's going to get them thrown out. Listen to this. A man seen on video being handcuffed by officers and escorted from the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool was accused of disorderly conduct amid President Trump's claims that vandals damaged the historic landmark. Christian Miles was detained on Monday, which was captured on video by TMZ DC, good for them, and shared on Twitter. In the video, two officers escort Miles away from the pool. Quote, "I was yelling at the Oklahoma State Troopers," Miles says. "I was yelling at them." When the reporter asked him why he was yelling at the troopers, he responded, "Because they're here. Oklahoma State Troopers." Miles declined, meaning, what the hell are Oklahoma State Troopers doing in Washington, D.C., and what are they doing patrolling the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool? They should be in Oklahoma, right? When the reporter asked him why he was yelling, because they're here, Miles declined an interview on Wednesday, but showed NBC News a copy of the U.S. District Court violation notice he received. The notice says Miles has been charged with the following violation and lists disorderly conduct and using obscene language. Using obscene language. That's now a crime in America? Especially using obscene language against a federal official? We can't use obscene language against the police? Really? Of the National Guard? Really? In America. And I say this for you guys who aren't US because our First Amendment is very strong. The notion that you can't tell a cop to go F himself, bullshit. You absolutely can. It's not nice of you, but you can. And the thing is, you can especially say it if you're saying it to a federal government official. That's the whole point. If you say it to a private citizen, you can probably say it to a private citizen anyway. But a government official, like the threshold goes much higher for it being a problem. Meaning, the government cannot patrol speech like that. It's obscene language. The notice says he will have to appear in court. Miles told The Guardian that he's a Washington, D.C. resident attempting to document the creeping police state in the city. Good for him. And plans on fighting the charges. It's not clear if he's obtained an attorney. Hopefully he gets a good attorney. I mean, disorderly conduct and obscene language. Yep. Okay, dog is cooling off on the floor. Disorderly conduct. And disorderly conduct is also another one like, really? So if you think it's fascist to put police on the streets of Washington, D.C. from all over the country like they're doing, like Trump is doing, you're not allowed to go up to them and say what you're doing is fascist. You're not even allowed to yell at them and call them fascist. Really? Why is that not legal? I have a hard time believing that's not legal. And again, he used obscene language. I'm sorry, this is not kindergarten. This is not grade school or high school even, where you're getting into trouble for using obscene language. You can't, that's not a crime in America. It's literally not a crime in America. Subway sandwich. I still have to make my Subway t-shirt. I hear you. Oh, now we're starting to whine. Yeah. I may have to get that thing and put it on the floor over here and see if you're able to, if you're able to eat it, dog. I'm a little worried you're going to get crap all over it though. We'll see. Crazy story though. Trump claimed today, speaking of Iran, by the way, Trump claimed today that it was fake news, that the media was to blame, that people think Iran says it's going to charge tolls for ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, let me get her a little treat. The reason the media reported that Iran is going to start charging tolls through the Strait of Hormuz is because Iran and Oman, our ally, put out a statement saying they were going to do that yesterday on their own stationery. And Trump is going, it's a lie. The media is lying. I really don't. One second. I don't, I try to understand this guy. Try to understand him. All right, let's try this. Let's try this, Sash. You want to come over here? Let's try this on the floor. All right. There we go. All right, there you go. Come here. Go. Come on. Go. Here, over here, over here. Trying to help you here. Oh my God, I'm not hurting you, you freak. Here. Right here, right here. What's this? What's this? Sasha. She doesn't see it as the problem. Hey, right here. I know you're not seeing very well. I don't think you can lift this though. Hey. Oh, she's looking and she thinks it's rubber. Carol, we're not having success yet. The dog, I put like some of this doggy peanut butter on this piece of rubber with texture on it for the dog. And she sniffed it and was like, it's rubber. And she doesn't see very well, so she's not like seeing the peanut butter. This is not successful yet, Sash. Oh, okay, we're tasting it now. We're tasting it, yes. There we go. On the floor. There we go. All right, let's see how long this lasts. Okay, at least it's on the floor. We have success. We have success. All right. I'm just hoping the lid, like I said, doesn't get covered with peanut butter. But let's see. Here, I'll show you. There we go. I'm also not sure how long this is going to last, but there we go. If Carol's here tonight, so it's this rubber pad with lots of. Oh, Carol, you're there with lots of designs on it, and you can smudge this stuff. It's actually not peanut butter. It's much lighter in calorie, which is good than peanut butter. And you smudge it on the design. I also put it in the freezer so that it's a little harder, and she's licking it and hopefully going to get into it. I'm only worried that her little collar gets full of peanut butter, because that would suck. So we shall see. I've been pulling my notes up again. Oh, what do you think, dog? Oh, Is that uncomfortable? Her legs are shaking a bit. The position might be uncomfortable. Or is it too cold? What do you think? Is that a little too cold? I think it's uncomfortable for her legs, actually, is my guess. Because her legs were shaking a bit, but she's trying to like lean over to lick it. 4 different spreads on there? Okay. Yeah, but if I take the cone off, the problem is I've got to keep an eye on her. And I don't want her to walk away with the cone off, or I would take the cone off. But I've got to keep an eye because I don't want to like, she's doing okay with the cone on. Again, I don't want the cone to get dirty, but she's doing okay with it. But if she walks away, she can hit the eye. And that's my concern. I don't want to, yeah, I'd have to keep looking down, you know. You can stick it to the wall, but I want to keep an eye on her. And I'm not sure which, she's doing okay here, actually. She's doing okay. She's standing and licking. I'm going to be curious how long it takes to, she did not have surgery, but she got ulcers. She's 16 and a half, so she's old. And she got ulcers on her eyes. And one of the ulcers went really bad. That eye's healing now, although she lost her vision. And the other eye is getting an ulcer, so we were trying to stop it with drops. Initially, it worked. Then it got worse. So I went back to the vet today, and we're changing the drops and hoping we can get that eye to stop the ulcer and heal, because otherwise, then she's in trouble. You know, if she loses both eyes, then, you know, that may be the end of that story. So, you know, so we'll see. But I'm hoping it was the eyes were getting better and now they're not getting better. Well, the bad eye is getting better. The good eye is getting worse. What's causing them? I mean, the theory is minerals that somehow collect in the cornea and we don't know why. And we use DDTA to get rid of the mineral and So, you know, again, part of the problem is she's 16 and a half. So it's like, you know, you can have moderators on Facebook. How, Jens? That's a good idea. I don't know how. I have no idea. Years ago, you couldn't. If there's some way to do it now, I'd love to, but I don't know how one actually does that. Anybody know how you put moderators on Facebook? I don't know. Manage video? As a moderator, you can make changes to video while it's live. Well, I'm a moderator, but are other people moderators? Anybody know? Right click their name. Let me try that. Hold on a second. Let me try this. See if I can make, it's definitely not right click your name. Click. Oh, stop that. Hold on. Hover over your name. Follow, audio, video call, safety, report Mandy, help Mandy, block Mandy, see friendship. Okay, none of that helps. Nope. Message. Nope. Delete, hide, or report this. Nope. No such thing. Oh, yeah, but it's not a group. That's the problem because we're on my personal page. Okay, because we're on my personal page. That's why I can't make them moderators. Yeah, okay. That's got to be, we'll go back to this in a second, but that's got to be why it's being difficult. Because it's not, I could do this on my page, although my page is not as popular as this. I'll go back to the topic. You relax yourself, Beth. You feel free to go somewhere else if you're bored. If you clearly don't know our show, if you're not used to me jumping around other topics like this, trying to figure out mods on TikTok. Anyway, yeah, it's not letting me bring up anything. So we can look later, but I think you have to be a page is the problem. I'll bet you that's the problem. Yeah. Because this is my personal page, and there's probably no way to make you a moderator on my personal page. Would be my guess, you know? Anyway. All right. So back to topics here. Oops. What's that one? What is that one? Oh, that is interesting, actually. You know, you guys hit it and it hid for me too, which is interesting. Or did I already? Oh, no, I already blocked this guy. That's why it hit his comment. Okay. You had lots of trolls on YouTube today. Interesting. Okay. No idea. All right. Back to our regularly scheduled program. I removed it earlier. That's what I thought. Yeah. All right. Other stuff here. Yep. She's still licking that thing. That's good. Iran, listen to this. Iran is consulting a psychologist or psychologists to better understand Trump, according to the Wall Street Journal. Trump's outbursts on social media have Iranian negotiators consulting a team of psychologists to help them better understand his mindset and reading the art of the deal. I think reading the art of the deal is not a bad idea. The problem is he didn't write it, and he also is crazy. He's losing his mind. You're dealing with somebody, you're not, with Trump, especially as he ages, you're not dealing with a master negotiator. You're dealing with somebody who's having mental problems. You're dealing with somebody who's not just a narcissist, but again, there's mental problems associated with narcissism, with vengeance, with anger. He's not very intelligent. That's part of the problem too. But I think it's the psychologist aspect is very smart for the Iranians to do. Reading Trump's book, I don't think that's going to tell you. I mean, that tells you something, but I think it's more important to talk to psychologists. Basically, you're dealing with somebody who's crazy. So talk to some experts who know how to deal with crazy. That would be psychologists, or psychiatrists. But he'll talk to the Russians. They can give you probably, I mean, they're going to talk to the Russians to get information on Trump, right? There's a big story today. I don't have much of the background on it, but Hegseth at the Pentagon today fired a 4-star U.S. Army general, C.D. Donahue, who commanding U.S. Army in Europe. He's a big deal. Everything I'm reading about this guy, he's a huge deal. And Trump and Hegseth just fired him today. Not clear why. Like, he's a big deal. And them firing him seems to be because of who knows what their weird, again, it comes down to what are they planning? What are they planning that they're trying to get rid of the good generals who might not follow illegal orders, basically, is what the big concern is here. Very scary stuff. Another big story today, Trump was going to sign some affordable housing legislation. That was a huge deal. Republicans wanted it. Trump wanted it. And Trump got pissed off and killed the bill today. Well, he didn't really kill it. He refused to sign it today. He canceled it was 4-star supposedly, BC. Yeah. He canceled the signing of the bill today. Oh, she's done. She's done. All right. She got it. All righty. 1 sec. We'll rinse that off. All right. All right. All right, pretty good. Well, that held her for maybe 10 minutes. I have to see when I took the picture. She finished her peanut butter. I didn't want to give her more, but she finished her peanut butter. So I just don't want her to get sick. But that at least held her for a while. So the affordable housing legislation, listen to this. Trump refused to sign affordable housing legislation today until Congress passes legislation giving him control of the elections. He wants to pass that crazy SAVE Act. Trump is trying to pass legislation to basically corrupt the elections, to take them over, which is illegal for the president to do, and to corrupt them, which is illegal for the president to do, because he claims all of our elections are stolen, which isn't true. We have probably the safest elections on the planet, even though our election system seems crazy. All the analyses, including Republican analyses from the Heritage Foundation, show that our elections are as safe as can be. There's practically no voter fraud. Again, Google this. There's practically no voter fraud at all. And the fraud there is so insignificant. It's like 1 vote out of 100 million. There has never been an impact on our elections from fraud. It doesn't exist. Well, when you're a loser who loses elections like Trump does, and frankly, fantasist, somebody who just serially lies, you got to claim that there's scandals anyway, right? So Trump does. So Trump is now killing this affordable housing bill that Republicans desperately wanted for the election in the fall, because the Republicans won't pass his legislation to steal the elections, the SAVE Act. Listen to this. Per Punchbowl News, Trump told Speaker Johnson, "No one gives a shit about housing." Oh, hold on a second. We have the wig, and thanks to Carol, I now have a wig brush. Let's see. Oh, that's not bad. It's a little hard. That's not bad, though. It's a little hard combing sideways, I have to say. I still feel like Mrs. Trump a little bit. Oh, that's not bad, though. Yeah, that's not bad. That's a little better. It's not perfect, but it's better. It still feels like Mrs. Trump on top. I need to, I think I need to get some hairspray, right? So I can pull the top down a little bit, maybe, you think? And then there's this stuff in front. Yeah, I think I need to get, I'm doing this backwards here. I think I need to get a little, what you doing, dog? A little hairspray here, but that's not bad. It's not bad. It's better than it was. The brush worked, Carol. Thank you for Carol for the brush. All right, just seeing what Miss Dogakins is doing. Oh, hello. I am going to pick you. I was going to, what? You don't want to be picked up? You don't want to be picked up? I'm going to pick you up anyway. Yes. She's hanging by my feet. It's okay. She's hanging by my feet, but hates getting picked up. So she knew I was going to go pick her. She could tell because she's smart. So as soon as I reached over like I was going to pick her up, she was like, But I'll do a quick hello. I don't want you to see because her eye is really gross. So I'm trying not to be like totally gross with the eye, Poor little thing. I know. You poor thing. Okay. Want to go down again? If we put you down again? I know you don't like being picked up, but you are kind of being needy. For normal dogs, this is the next step to being needy, being picked up. Thank you for the gift, right? Thank you guys. Right? This is the normal next step is picking you up. Hey, Paula. All right, I will put you down. Okay, go. Okay, here you go. All right, so Trump, this is hugely important legislation for the Republicans. Trump tells Speaker Johnson, no one gives a shit about housing. Well, the bill is going to be law in 10 days. And if he vetoes it, they've got the votes to override. So it's also not clear why Trump is trying to kill it because the bill's going to pass anyway. A senior Senate Republican aide told Igor Bobik, who's a reporter, he was with Huffington Post, he probably still is, about Trump. Trump listed housing affordability as one of his top agenda items in his State of the Union address. His own White House team helped devise this legislative push. And the president personally doused it with gasoline and lit it on fire. So this is one of Trump's biggest issues. He made it one of his biggest issues in the State of the Union. His White House team pushed the bill. Like it passed because of Trump. And now that he got it passed, classic Trump, my dog kind of does this to some degree. Classic Trump, like, sundowning, right? Like, oh, that's my most important bill. I hate you. Kill the bill. He just totally flipped, and now he's trying to kill the legislation. And the Republicans are pissed because it's one more thing they need for the election in the fall. Oh, well. From Andrew Desiderio, another reporter, a senior Senate Republican aide on Trump abruptly canceling the signing ceremony for the housing bill. Quote, we saw glimpses of this during Trump's first administration, but never in my lifetime have I seen a president so deliberately attempt to lose majorities for his own party. I kind of wonder if he is trying to lose the election in the fall. I don't know why. Like, if he thinks he's going to punish Republicans somehow, I don't quite get what he's trying to do, But it does almost seem like he's doing it on purpose. I don't quite get why, right? The MS Now. So MS Now, what you doing? You want to go out or you want to go sit? You want to come sit here? I will pet you. There you go. Go sit. There you go. MS Now reports Democrats in Congress are sounding the alarm over Trump using the Postal Service to take control of our elections. Postal Service announced new rules in May in accordance with a March executive order from Trump, which called for tightening mail-in voting regulations. Among other things, the new rules would require states, to submit to the Postal Service the names and addresses of voters receiving mail-in or absentee ballots. They would also set mandatory best practices for federal elections, including creating new requirements for mail-in ballot envelopes and tracking codes. So basically, Trump is trying to use the Postal Service to take over mail-in balloting in the states, which he can't do because it's unconstitutional. Under the Constitution, elections are run by the states. They're not run by Donald Trump. So he hates mail-in ballots because he lost because of mail-in ballots. And he's trying to kill mail-in balloting just like he's trying to kill windmills. And he's trying to basically, that's what's going on. So he's trying to kill the mail-in ballots. He's using the Postal Service to try to do it. Very, and he himself votes by mail, exactly as Ash just said, which he does. But he claims mail-in ballots are illegal, and he does it himself. Of course he does. What else we got? ABC News, a federal judge on Wednesday permanently blocked the Trump administration from enforcing an executive order signed last year that required proof of citizenship to register to vote and demanded mail-in ballots be received by Election Day. There you go. Judge Denise Casper ruled that the president lacks the authority to oversee elections and rejected the Trump administration's unsupported claims of widespread illegal voting. Again, it's total bullshit. Discrimination, fraud, and other forms of malfeasance and error. Again, they keep alleging there's widespread fraud in the election, but they can't prove it because it doesn't exist. And the Heritage Foundation, Google the Heritage Foundation study, big pro-Trump Republican think tank. They did a study of our elections, and they found quite literally like 100 illegal voters out of billions. Like in a 20-year period, there were billions of votes cast, and they found like 100 people who were signed up illegally. Most of them did not even vote. They were just signed up to vote illegally. Out of billions, it had no impact. In other words, it's a small problem. It's not a problem at all. And it had no impact at all on the elections. Therefore, you kind of have to ask yourself, why do they keep lying about it? Why are they keep trying to pass legislation to change the way we vote? If it's not to fix elections, if elections aren't broken, and we know they're not, then what are they actually trying to do? Right? If they're passing this legislation to change the way we vote, and they're claiming it's to fix the election, but the election we know isn't broken, then what are they actually fixing? Exactly. They're trying to fix the election, all right, but they're not trying to fix it because it's broken. They're trying to fix it for one side. That's the scary thing here. Denmark, hang on a second here. Denmark will supply Ukraine with 15,000 long-range artillery rounds after Kyiv urged allies to prioritize long-range firepower. Trump on Ukraine, this is wild. General Kellogg was one of Trump's Ukraine advisors. He was like the good one. Trump got rid of him. Listen to this. As Kellogg continued, Trump repeatedly interjected. So Kellogg was talking to Trump. And Trump repeatedly interjected to say just how much he disliked Ukraine's President Zelensky. Quote, he's a bad negotiator, Trump said, and he's destroyed his country. But he was really good at getting stuff from the... Sorry. One moment. We're forgetting our wig. Doop. There we go. I do have to get my hair sprayed. I'll try it later. He's a bad negotiator, and he's destroyed his country, but he was really good at getting stuff from the Biden administration. Kellogg tried to forge on, but Trump kept up a steady stream of digs at Ukraine. It was, he said at one point, the most corrupt country on earth. Now, Ukraine is actually at around 105 on the corruption index, out of 105, 110, out of like almost 200. Guess who's number 140? Russia. The higher the number, the more corrupt. Ukraine is in the same position as Turkey and some of our Middle Eastern allies. Russia is one of the most corrupt countries on earth, not Ukraine. Surprise. But Trump tried to claim they're the most corrupt country on earth. I'm not a big fan of Ukraine, Trump said, except their women. They keep winning Miss Universe. Trump pointed at his long-serving aide, Dan Scavino, with a smirk. Dan knows what I'm talking about. It wasn't clear what Trump meant, but Vance and Hegseth suppressed laughter, and Rubio looked stunned. So J.D. Vance and Hegseth are laughing about Trump making some weird comment about Ukrainian women and how Dan Scavino knows what Trump is talking about when it comes to Ukrainian women, haha. And Vance and Hegseth start laughing, and Rubio's looking like, what the fuck? Yeah, good for Rubio that Trump is talking about doing something to women who aren't his wife. Let's just leave it at that. Putin. So final point here. Putin today, to the America Fair, that would be funny actually. Putin today decided the Russians love to do this. So the Russians, as you know, were allies of the Germans in World War II. They imprisoned half of Europe for half a century. Horrible, horrible people. And the Russians like to pretend that that they're the saviors of World War II. They saved us. We kind of saved them. They lost a lot of lives, but, kind of like the lesson we talk about Iran, losing lives in a war is not exactly proof that you're a victor, that you won. They lost a lot of lives. That was sad. They also caused World War II, so I feel a little less sad for the Russians since they helped cause it. But Putin today tried to claim, listen to this, Putin, Stalin proposed to all the European powers to enter into an alliance against the aggressive regime of Germany, against the Nazi regime, but they all backed out, and they were the first to start making treaties with Hitler. Oh, honey, let's tell people what Russia actually did in World War II. So what Russia actually did, Russia formed a pact early on with the Germans. It was called the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. And they, as part of the pact, they had a little deal where they were going to divide up Poland. They were both going to invade Poland, and each of them were going to take half of it. They then were going to invade the rest of Europe. The Nazis were going to go and invade the Soviets. The Soviets were going to invade the Baltic states, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, that kind of stuff. They divided up Europe. Now, what was really important as well to this agreement wasn't just that Hitler and the Soviets got together to split up Europe for a secret peace treaty, but the underlying point of the treaty was that it was a friendship treaty. It was that Germany and the Soviets got together. That Germany and the Soviets got together. And let me get the dog's treats to keep her quiet. 1 second. She's been a little better tonight. I'll give her that. I know, coming right now. So another reason why the Soviets and the Germans had a pact was because the Germans wanted to make sure that the Soviets weren't going to get in their way. Soviet Union was a big, scary place, lots of people, lots of weapons. And the Germans wanted to invade Europe, but they were afraid if they invaded Europe, would the Soviets fight them, and then they'd have war on two fronts. So they reached a deal with the Soviets and said, we'll let you invade Poland, we'll let you take Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, and basically rape Europe, which they did, as long as you don't come after us. And the Soviets said, okay. And that, many people think, that helped cause World War II, because it basically gave the Germans not just permission, it gave Germany the comfort zone to invade Europe, knowing they wouldn't have to worry about the Soviets at their back. Because if they had to worry about the Soviets at the back, they might have thought twice about starting war with the rest of Europe. So that's what happened. So the Soviets cut a deal. The deal helped the Germans start World War II, and basically, I would say, gave the Germans permission to start World War II. After about 2 years, the Germans being Germans, those Germans, I don't like to use their names because TikTok, I think, gets upset when I use the name of the German party starting with an N. But those Germans, surprise, not very trustworthy people. Well, they turned around and attacked the Russians. So the Russians were suddenly at war with Germany anyway. And the rest was history. And they needed our help to stay alive, and we helped them with Lend-Lease. We and the Brits helped the Russians stay alive and fight the Germans. And we finally won. Well, what did the Russians do to thank us? Right? Oh, we saved Europe, the Russians say. Guess how much the Russians saved Europe? First of all, they went into Poland and they murdered 20,000 to 30,000 military officers. When the Russians invaded Poland, they had to take it over. They caught or captured 20,000 to 30,000 officers, marched them into the forest, and shot them all at once. It's called the Katyn Massacre, Katyn. Google it. After World War II ends, right, and we beat the Germans, right? We beat the Germans at the end of World War II. What do the Soviets do to thank us? The Soviets, oh yes, so concerned about authoritarian governments and evil taking over Europe. The Soviets took over half of Europe and installed evil, brutal communist dictatorships in half of Europe. From Germany, they took part of Germany, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Romania. I'd have to think, Poland. I'm trying to think who else. The Baltic state. Well, the Baltic states, they made part of the Soviet Union. Ukraine, part of the Soviet Union. Horrific what they did. Horrific. East Germany, horrific. Romania, horrific dictatorship. What these guys set up. Czechoslovakia, not so great either. It's, Poland, a little better sometimes, but that's what the Russians did. 45 years of horrible communist dictatorships, horrible dictatorships, killing their own people. And this is what the Russians want us to thank them for. The fact that they kidnapped Europe, half of Europe, for almost half a century. Yeah. These are very bad people. And I think, and it matters so much to them, their history with the Germans in World War II matters so much to them, we should be throwing it in their face every single time and tell them, you're not heroes for what you did. You helped start World War II because you were in cahoots with the Germans. And the only reason you fought them is because they turned on you. And then what did you do? You did exactly what the Germans did. You took over half of Europe and installed a dictatorship, just like the Germans were trying to do. You're no better than the Germans. You are the Germans. That's what people should tell them. But anyway, horrible, absolutely horrible. Go read the history. Horrible what the Russians did in Europe. Horrific dictatorship. Anyway, man, sorry, my nose is itching today. Anyway, all right, we got a few more minutes here. My nose is itching really bad. I think because I've been doing stuff for the dog and then touching my nose. My allergies have been a little worse this spring. I need more allergy shots. I'll have to go in again soon. Anyway, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, sorry, guys. Man. Oh, there we go. Anyway. Oh, man. A couple more minutes. I know mine, I don't know what's going on. I could tell too because I've been getting the choking thing in my throat a little bit you can tell. Soviet War Memorial in Berlin. I don't remember. When I was in Berlin, we went to East Berlin and went to some Soviet museum in East Berlin. I remember because it was pretty wild though, because there were Soviet soldiers downstairs. And it was kind of cool. Now, and my Russian, not great, but these guys were also blue collar. They were working class. So even with my Russian that was okay, but not, it was just 1 year of college Russian. They couldn't communicate with me because I think I think it takes a certain level of intelligence to speak a language poorly. You know what I mean? If you're speaking with someone who doesn't know a language very well, you've got to be smart enough to choose simple words, and they couldn't figure out. But I was wearing a business suit, and of course, our business suits scream Western, and they're dressed as Soviets. And I think I walked by and I nodded, and they looked back at me. I think they said, Amerikanets or whatever, American. And I said, yeah, or da. And they were trying to talk to me, and we tried a little bit, but I couldn't. The funny part is we were in the basement of the museum. They really wanted to talk to me, but I couldn't figure out, they probably wanted to trade. Couldn't figure out what they wanted. So it was too bad, but it was some kind of museum in Berlin. Cause I remember columns in front, and I remember the East German guards in front. Cause actually I took a photo. I don't know where it is, of one of the guards. I remember. I should look through my old photos. Because I remember that was the other, because I don't speak German. That was the other time when I made up German, and people tell me I was close enough. I didn't do it right, but to ask the guard if I could take a photo. And I said, ich kann machen ein Foto, which apparently isn't correct, but he understood and said, yeah. I said, okay, danke. And I got a photo of the East German guard, and, they were into it. But, Anyway, so yes, I don't know if I've been to the Soviet War Memorial in Berlin. If there's a Soviet War Memorial, it ought to be showing how bad the Soviets were, Well, I don't remember from the photos yesterday, though, if any of them were at the museum. I don't think so. I'd have to look. I don't think those are, because also I got rid of some photos, or I packed them away. Those are my better photos. And I may have just thrown out, I think I may have thrown it out. Because at one point when I moved to New York, I had a huge box of photos. I had like every photo I've ever taken. But when I moved to New York, I was like, you're right, those were all the wall. I was like, it's not worth it. I literally had a huge box of every photo and every negative. And at some point, you know, I've had a good life, but I don't think I'm famous enough to keep all my photos, you know? So I threw most of them out. I went through every single one and I kept the good ones, but I threw everything out that wasn't good enough because I was like, what's the point? You know? So now at least I've got a couple piles of photos like this, maybe two piles like this. Kann ich ein Foto machen? Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, because I said ich kann machen ein Foto. So I could have said ich kann machen ein Foto, which would be the wrong order, but it would have been the correct words, but the wrong order. So I was saying it in English, like I can make a photo. Actually, you know what I was doing? I probably was speaking French. Because ich kann machen ein Foto was I can make a photo. That's not English. That would be je peux faire une photo. Je peux faire une photo, right? I was speaking French. Ich kann machen ein Foto. That's what I was doing. Now that I think about it. Oh, kann ich is the photo. Oh, I see what you mean. So I told him I can make a photo or something like that. But I think I was thinking French and you know, yeah. Oh, that's very English, actually. Kann ich? Can I? Oh, that's interesting. Can I make a photo? Kann ich? That's interesting. That is interesting. Hey, you. Huh. I love languages. I think they're fascinating. Languages are fascinating. Okay, a little up. I like languages. They're fun. I don't speak German, though. Not at all. No, German's none. I've never studied German, so. I've not seen the World Cup games. I'm just not into soccer. I'm just not into soccer. Make a photo. Yeah. Make a photo. Faire une photo. Ouais. Same in French. Je peux prendre une photo. Je peux faire une photo. Je peux prendre une photo. No. Je peux faire une photo. Prendre une photo. Oh God, now I'm forgetting. Vas-y, prendre une photo. Faire une photo. Prendre une photo. Is it faire ou prendre in French? I'm already forgetting. Hacer un foto. Hace un foto. Toma una foto in Spanish, right? I don't remember what is it. Help me, guys, in French. Faire une photo. I keep thinking faire une photo, but maybe I'm mixing it up with another language. No, it's not prendre une photo. It's got to be faire, right? Jolie, is that what it is? Je fais une photo? Ouais? I think. Yeah. Here, we'll have the French way in a second here. There's a little bit of a delay. Oh, another piece. I know. I've thought about it. It would be fun to. It would be. Je peux prendre photo. Wait. Okay. So it's prendre photo. Wait. That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah. No. I thought at some point I thought it would be fun to do a show in French or Spanish. It wouldn't be easy in some ways, but I also don't know whether it would just be too weird. Like I don't know if we get enough people. Also, I think all the regulars would get confused. People would come and go, "What are you doing?" You know what I mean? And even TikTok's algorithm isn't going to send Spanish and French speakers, you know? It'd be fun to try. I mean, my Spanish and French are good. I still would worry about the politics. You know what I mean? Like trying to know enough of the trato de hablar en español para 15 minutos. No sé si puedo. El problema también es el vocabulario. Depende del tema, pero no sé de qué voy a hablar. You know? That's the problem. Si hablamos de la comida es más difícil. En todas las idiomas tengo problemas de hablar sobre comida porque no conozco las palabras porque son especiales, you know? For me, I find in foreign languages food words are very specialized and I'm terrible at them. There's like all the kinds of fish, all the kinds of I mean, my Spanish is very good. Right now, I'm a little nervous because I don't know what to talk about. If I talk to a person, I can. No, pero hablo español bastante bien. El problema es que no sé de qué hablar ahora. You know, ese es el problema. Pero, bueno, I mean, así una vez hablé muy bien. Oh, ahora hablo bastante bien también, pero no lo practico muchas veces. Solo con mi perro, cuando estoy caminando en la calle y conozco a la gente, siempre quieren quieren conocer a mi perro y así hablamos y son latinos y bueno, la mitad no hablan inglés, entonces es perfecto. But yeah, no, so my Spanish is good. I just haven't, it's weird with you. If I'm on a show, it's harder. If I'm talking with you, it's easier. But like here, in English, at least my English is so good that it's, even being nervous talking, it's not a problem. But being nervous talking Spanish, it's a whole other world. And my French is much better than my Spanish. French, I would be less worried, although I still don't know the vocabulary, depending on the topics. Like I gave a presentation, a lecture once in Spain about blogging, but I had to prepare the vocabulary. So before I went in, I had to go and like I had a cheat sheet where I had to learn like a hyperlink, which I remember in French, it's a lien, right? In Spanish, I don't remember. It's not a ligado? No. I don't remember what to call a link in Spanish, but I had to learn like all of those, a web page. I don't know if it's a página web. I don't, but like all of these different enlace. That was a link? Really? Enlace. I don't even remember that. No, I don't remember that at all. But you have to like learn all those words regarding the specialized conversation, which can be kind of hard. Or maybe not hard, but you got to prepare for it. That's what I find kind of difficult in any language. With any language, though, you could be fluent, and if the conversation shifts to something you don't know, you're like, oh shit, like all of a sudden, Pachuco. Enlace. I don't remember that at all. And Greek is kind of like this too, though. Like Greek, like French, uses its own word for computer that drives me crazy. Like French, it's ordinateur. Spanish, thank God, computadora. But in Greek, it's what the hell is it again in Greek? Somebody help me. It's not logistis, is it? Or is that program or something? Somebody Greek help me out here. There's another word for Ipologistis. Oh, it is. Okay, I was saying logistis. Ipologistis. Okay. Yeah, ipologistis. So I was like, I was close. My Greek class is paying off. But stuff like that in languages, I hear you, it can be very hard. My first language is English. Oh, by far. Yeah, no. English is native English. Nothing else is native. English is native. I would say nothing else is bilingual. Fluent, yes. French is my best foreign language, definitely fluent. Spanish is definitely fluent. It's just rusty talking here because I get embarrassed with you guys. Italian, I would call fluent. It is not as good as my Spanish, but it's very good, and I get by very well in Italy. Very well, which is why I'd say it's fluent. It's a level below my Spanish, but it's. I understand people in Italian, and then Greek, which is not fluent. Greek is definitely intermediate. I'd like it to be fluent, but like, whereas Italian, I can listen to Italian conversations and it depends who's talking. But some people I understand everything, some people I don't. Like Giorgia Meloni was talking about Trump. I was able to understand half of it. Some of it I just couldn't get, whether it was too fast or whatever, or it might have been too intellectual of language too, because she was talking about being appalled and she used a word that I didn't know. And the word beg, which I don't know the word in Italian for beg. So there were some words like that too, God, how did I learn the languages? Everything's a little different. As a kid, my mom tried to teach us Greek and then sent us to Greek school, but I didn't really learn Greek until graduate school. And I spent 4 months in the summer and I moved to Greece to learn Greek. And I lived with relatives and I brought my Greek book and I studied every day. And my Greek was fluent. It's not fluent now, but it was fluent. Spanish, I studied for 12 years in school. That's how that worked. And then went to Argentina for a summer, and that really nailed it well. French, I went to France in college for a year to learn. I wanted to learn French. So I went to France for a year and learned French when I was 19, which helps. Italian was funny. And Italian, okay, bragging here, but Italian, I visited Italy in Thanksgiving of 1983. So November of 1983, we went to Florence for the weekend. And I love Europe because you can buy these just wonderfully cheap vacation packages. And there was this like cheap vacation package to Florence for the weekend. And I was like, sure. Fell in love with Florence, fell in love with Italy. And I taught myself Italian. Basically, I got an Italian book, and already knowing Spanish and French, I was able to teach myself Italian pretty well. I have only had 2 classes in Italian I took when I got back. And hard to say. We'd have to talk Italian. I mean, like I'd almost be afraid of talking Italian with you right now. I mean, ho paura di parlare italiano con voi adesso solo perché, bene, è difficile parlare a me stesso, a io stesso, no? Perché non so cosa dire. È abbastanza difficile, ma posso parlare, dipende del soggetto, è così. Ma I don't know. I can get by. I know the word in French. Je peux me débrouiller. Posso andare abbastanza bene in italiano, diciamo così. But yeah, no, I get by in Italian well, and I can understand it very well. Usually, again, not Giorgia Maloney. So every language has been different. But knowing Spanish and French, Italian, Paloma. I tried Portuguese hard. I took Portuguese like for a year in college or in graduate school. It was hard. I was able to pick up some, and it's gone now. But I had learned to pronounce it and stuff. It wasn't impossible, but I would have needed more. Also, I didn't continue with it. There was no way to continue, Whereas Italy, I went back to Italy multiple times and got to use it, which helped a lot, right? I haven't gone to Brazil or Portugal to use my Portuguese, so that went away. Romanian fascinates me only because, and I only pick up some words because of my other languages, and it's only some words. It's not enough to understand, but it still fascinates me because words come out, and I go, "Oh, that's so funny." But I would have to study it to learn it. You know what I mean? I'm sure I could pick up Romanian, but it would be kind of a challenge to pick it up. How did I learn what though? Said she does. Which? Sasha, stop. Come on. Interlingua? What is that? I love it. I love languages. I love meeting foreigners. I love speaking languages. Now, the thing is, the one thing I don't like is it is still very, even if you speak foreign languages, it's still like I speak better in English, and I like to speak so much that it can be very difficult in foreign languages. Like I'm not comfortable because I still feel like I can't express myself the way I like to express myself in English, even in French, which I'm very good at. It just doesn't, it's hard, but then again, I've got to spend time there, I'd have to spend months there, and I'm sure I'd get it to that point. Oh, new language. Oh, that's interesting. So kind of like an Esperanto. Well, it's not really people messing up, but it's you know how to express yourself in detail in your own language. You don't in a foreign language. Did I say conocer? I wasn't sure if it was saber and conocer. Yeah, like those things can be a bitch. Yeah. And again, things like conocer and saber, which are 2 ways of saying to know in Spanish, you'll pick up if you live there. Like I studied that stuff, but I can't remember. If you live there, I find you listen to people. Hey, stop. You listen to people and you hear expressions out of them and you go, he just said, je sais, bop, bop, bop. And you go, oh, that's how you use it. And for me, hearing it has always been the best way to pick it up. Like much better. And because I hear stuff and I go, oh, you know what I mean? And then you repeat the expression, Too Sweet. Yeah, Too Sweet's a good name. Your dogs are Romanian. Occasionally Cookie pretends she doesn't understand English. I learned a couple of words in Romanian. Tell her to sit in Romanian. She always looks surprised. That's funny. Will you stop, please? Hi, just relax. I gave you lots of food tonight, Sash. Come on. All right? Come on. All right? Sure, I bothering you, or is that just because I reached? That's probably because I reached. I'm going to guess. Poor thing. I know. But this is the time of night that you whine for food, and you make it very hard for me to know if you're in pain or not. Yes, this is her whiny time. So I can never tell if this is Sasha sundowning, Sasha's eye hurting, or Sasha knows I give her food when she whines at this hour, so we're doing that. I know. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Learning languages when you're young, much better. Oh, absolutely. I do love it though. That's what I mean. Like, not to speak ill of my dog, but when the dog is gone, I'm going to start planning my trips again, domestically and internationally. I'm going to go to Montreal finally. I'm going to go to Quebec City finally. Start going back to Europe. Rent an Airbnb for several months in Paris. Go to Greece. Go to Italy, and then start traveling around Europe. Things I haven't done in Europe. Oh, hey, Scott. Thank you. The shirt, you may not have been there being in the show. The shirt is I got in Singapore, but it's actually kind of very cheap, which, by the way, Midwesterners, where I'm from, I'm from Chicago, and I'd read some description of how Midwesterners, if you ask them about something they're wearing or whatever, they'll be very proud to tell you how cheap they got it for. And it's very true. And I thought about that, but it's really true. We're proud of it, but also we feel the need to show you that we're not fancy. It's a funny thing. You know what I mean? But no, the shirt though is really cool. Again, it was cheap, like $25. But what's neat is it's birds. I don't know if you can see closely enough. They're tropical birds. If I get close enough, you can see, which I think is really neat. Actually, both of you guys can see now. It's really cool. And I love that it kind of looks paisley, but it's not. It looks paisley, but they're actually birds, which is kind of neat. Oh, you want to go out? Let's go out there. Let's go. Hold on. All right, there you go. Actually, the weather is nice, which means I'm going to take her around the block when we finish. But yeah, so anyway, thank you for that gift. I appreciate that. Was that Scott? Yeah, Scott. But that's where I find it fun. But bucket list is hard. I've been to Africa, but Africa's big. I've never been to the safari. I'd like to go back to Argentina. I have friends there and like it. I've never been around Brazil. We've got cousins in Brazil, and I'd love to see Brazil with them. Europe, there's so much in Europe that I haven't seen. I mean, I've seen a lot of Europe, but I don't really know Germany. I've been to Berlin when the wall fell, but I don't know Germany. I'm trying to think what else. Make sure she's okay. I don't know the Baltic states. I don't know Eastern Europe at all. Really, I've been to East Germany. Doesn't exist anymore, Leipzig, but I don't know Eastern Europe at all. London, of course, yeah. France, Italy, Spain, all of that. But Germany, I don't know well. Netherlands, yes. Belgium, sure. Scotland, no. Scotland, yes, but Edinburgh, which I don't think counts. Edinburgh was a bit too English for me. I want to go to Glasgow and those places. Been to Sweden, which I liked. Norway, no. Copenhagen, no. Like I said, love to go to the Baltic states, absolutely. Ireland, absolutely. The Baltic states, absolutely. Former Yugoslavia is supposed to be interesting. Albania, because my ethnic background ties in with Albania, so I'm dying to go there. You done? Okay, come on in. Come on in. There you go. So we're definitely planning. Well, Croatia should be great. I have to go to Albania though, because like I said, our ethnic background is tied in with Albania, and I want to find somebody who knows the history, but who also possibly knows my family, because we're in the history books as existing in the 1600s, that we were one of the big names in the region. Not Aravosis, of course. And I want to see if anybody's got the history. Anybody who knows the history or has a book can tell us more would be kind of cool. Because in Greece, it's kind of hard. It can be, I sort of have a unique family tree that we've got 820 members of our family tree, which I'm finding is unique among people. And in Greece, all of our families, we've got multiple branches of the family. They all stop around 1780, 1800, right before the revolution. And they're gone. So we don't have anything before. But I'm talking 6 or 7 branches of the family go back to around 1800, and then boom, nothing. So I'd like to be able to, my mom's side, it would be fun to, because that's the famous side, so to speak, to track the end, which means there may be more written about her side because her ancestor was a famous general and a famous priest. And as I said, the family name in the books even say the family name was an important tribe in the north in the 1600s or 1700s. So there might be literature about it. There might be. Vivolf? You have to tell me what that is, Ash. Anyway, yeah, Albania with that stuff. Yeah. U.S. states, Hawaii. Haven't been to Hawaii. Really want to go to Hawaii. Sasha, I don't think Sasha speaks much. Sasha maybe knows English and a little Greek. That's probably it. I hear you. Hi, you all right? What are you doing, Koof girl? Although it is getting close to dinner time for her. All right, I'm going to sign off, guys. All right. Yeah, hopefully they don't ruin it, though. But yeah. All right. I'm going to sign off, guys. I know we started a little late, but we're ending late, though, so that's good. We started 15 minutes late. We're ending 15 minutes late, so that's good. A wolf is a last name. Oh, I think you put Vivolf. All right. I will see you guys. Thank you. Discord, have a good night. Ash and Amanda, thank you for your help. All right. Instagram. Because I always want to take although it's not getting dark yet, but the weather is nice. So I'm going to take the dog around the block. I'm like we're doing mandatory exercise for the dog that she hates, where I take her around the block. But it's good for her.